My internet finally works. We're on the internet, Jason Aponte. It's a new Sprint Ride Option podcast, and it starts right now. StreamYard is totally different. It's been so long, Jason, that StreamYard is totally different, that pressing the button doesn't start the intro anymore. So bump. We're live. Sprint Ride Option podcast. I'm Andrew Pasquini, joined as always by Jason Aponte. Can you tell it's been a couple weeks since we last streamed here on youtube.com? It is new Sprint Ride Option podcast. I'm Andrew Pasquini. Jason, how are you doing on this lovely, it's a Wednesday, July 9th. We're still about a month away from football, but Jason, how are you doing today?
What an electric opening. And you know what? Right? It's probably for the best, because we have an outdated intro anyway. So maybe we should just switch. We should just switch to that.
Just me going bump.
Bump.
Yeah, I like it. It's a good one. No, hey, it's just, this is what happens, because a little behind the scenes, guys, just to let you guys know, we've tried to stream the past couple of weeks. I've had severe fights with my internet at home. Multiple times when Jason and I were texting each other being like, hey, like, let's go, we're ready. About 5 o'clock, right before we stream, my internet would go down. And it was a battle. It actually got to a point where I called Comcast and I was like, hey, what's going on here? And they actually like credited me like $40 for the month, because my Wi-Fi went out so often. So that's what's been going on. That's why I also got a haircut. That's another conversation we could have for another day. But Jason, I want to start with the big news of the weekend. This is something we were going to talk about Monday. There's been a development today. I want to talk about Love, Jason Aponte, and how Love,
not Love Island,
might have ended on Monday, but it might be back today. On Monday, we found out the potentially devastating news that Cardi B and Stephon Diggs broke up. Cardi B removed everything from her social media. Yes, this is a 49ers podcast. We talk NFL news here, guys. And NFL news.
And make sure you guys like this video. Well, let's get people in here.
Yeah, we're getting people in here. It's a little bit of a late start for us. The link's a little old, so we're getting some people in here. We're talking Cardi B, Stephon Diggs. I'm devastated. If they couldn't make it, who can, Jason?
Well, I think, you think about it in that context, and I think we got some news today that they're fine. Apparently, and Cardi's telling everybody to touch grass, but I don't believe that for a second. I do want to talk about this in a way where Stephon Diggs has adjusted his ranking as a wide receiver. Potentially when the first video came out of Stephon Diggs on a yacht with a bunch of beautiful women and Cardi B, I said, man, that's wide receiver one. Adjust the rankings. Wide receiver one. We have to think about this differently. I've seen enough. Wide receiver one, but it was destined to be short-lived, and it always just feels like we're teetering at any moment on a crash out. But Stephon Diggs, when this first video came out and everybody was asking Mike Vrabel about it, and they're talking about NFL news and what's the suspension, I adjusted the rankings to put him at wide receiver one, right? And I think that's really what we should be talking about.
Yeah, he's up there, and it looks like he's coming back from that ACL injury as well. A new situation in New England. He's got Drake May throwing passes to him. Cardi B, potentially. It's a great time to be Stephon Diggs. And that boat ride looked like a good time. It might have been the most covered boat ride since the New York Giants, I think. I think that might have been the last big covered boat ride in the NFL. But Diggs and Cardi, they were my favorite. I had a bias towards them, to be honest, Jason. I'm a big Cardi B fan, and we'll talk about a Cardi B adjacent thing. But I want to talk about another wide receiver in the NFL who might have adjusted his rankings. He's already at the top, near the top, but might have bumped himself up a little bit higher. And we got some film, Jason Aponte. So I'm going to pull this up. If you want to break down Jamar Chase from over the weekend for me.
Yeah. Quick. And let's do a quick film breakdown. Like Jamar Chase, when I adjusted the rankings, I adjusted it. Diggs 1, Justin Jefferson 2, Jamar Chase number 3. But I have to really, really, I want you to put this full screen, because I really want to get into this, because this is all technical right here. And this is all very much, about why now he is the wide receiver one. And I'd love to see what this is.
This is a move Jason Aponte's pulled. Let's just throw it out there.
I don't know about
Jason Aponte. I think Jamar Chase might have learned this from Jason Aponte. But here we go. Here's the film, Jason. Let's get a break.
Okay, so Jamar Chase is obviously facing traffic here, and he sees the press, but he works. I want you to go back. I want you to go back a little bit, because I want to show you the footwork, and I want to show you where the defender fails here. The defender is being impatient and pressing him when you should be patient and waiting for him to make a move a little bit and reacting to him. When you put that kind of pressure on him like that, he's too fast. The footwork's too good. What I would tell that defender is, I want you to trust your footwork, trust your instincts, make sure that you're patient, because when you're impatient, a player like this and a guy like this, a wide receiver like this, is going to blow past you for a big gain. That's exactly what we have right here. So I do think that there is room for improvement on the defender. The defender actually has to just trust their eyes a little bit more, trust their instincts, use your feet, move your feet. Don't get over aggressive, right? Don't speed up your clock, because Jamar Chase is already waiting to blow by you. This is just another example. And another thing I want to point out, it's very clear the two have rapport. They've worked out together. So they know each other very well, right? Like, this isn't somebody who's brand new from this person. They've worked out together. Jamar Chase understood what was about to happen because of those workouts. I got to say, Jamar Chase, wide receiver 1. I've seen enough. Wide receiver 1, Jamar Chase. Wide receiver 2, Stephon Diggs. Sorry for you, Justin Jefferson. You're my favorite in the world, but you got to be wide receiver 3 at this point. That's just flawless technique and being patient and understanding what you need to do to get yourself open.
Jamar Chase too. He's such a vertical threat that I don't know why you'd go bump and run. Why you'd be so close on the line of scrimmage. You got to give 7, 8, 9 yards. Give him space to read so you can react to it. Just not enough space there by the DB. And Jamar Chase gone for a touchdown. Great breakdown, Jason Aponte. I know you're a wide receiver guy.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody to break down that film, it would be Jason Aponte. So Jamar Chase, Stephon Diggs moving up the depth chart. To close this segment, Jason, because we're having a great time here. So
we're having a great time.
We're going to talk Niners football here in a second. But the big news today, Klay Thompson hanging out with Meg the Stallion. This podcast is jealous. This podcast specifically is jealous of Klay Thompson right now.
How much more? All right, so look, I don't hate on other, I love. I just want to make sure.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Right. But how much more?
Yeah.
Klay Thompson, you have rings. You are a Bay Area legend. You are an undoubted Hall of Famer. Now you got to make the Stallion. And I would ask the same question to Tom Brady. Now you're flirting with Sydney Sweeney at Jeff Bezos' wedding. How much more? You've already conquered everything that how much more? I'm not hating, but I'm just like, at what point do you become greedy? What point are you getting greedy? And if we go down Klay Thompson's list, Laura Harrier, who was the one that got away from Tom Holland's Spider-Man, she's high up on the list as well too. I mean, how much more? What am I supposed to do as just a normal man? I don't understand. But you know what? Very jealous. Very jealous.
This one hits a little too close for home for me.
Yep.
I just 1,000%. I like Klay Thompson. We know a lot of big Klay Thompson fans. There's sunshines out there that like Klay Thompson, and this ruins me, to be 1,000% honest, Jason Aponte. I've never wanted to be. I'm more of a Steph Curry guy than a Klay Thompson guy. I've never wanted to be Klay Thompson more in my life than this moment. And I didn't expect to be here today. Is it? Have we confirmed it is indeed Klay Thompson? Because it could just be a guy who resembles Klay Thompson.
I mean, if it's not Klay Thompson, it's Klay, Thompson. It's that close, man. I mean, the internet never loses, and the internet sees all, man. I don't understand how you peep that out, and this is why you can't post anything anymore.
You know what would have been great for this podcast if it was Austin Rivers? Think about that. It would have been great for this podcast. Would have been great content for this podcast. We don't have anybody who looks like Klay Thompson.
I will say this, and let's make sure that let's get to,
what if it's fake? What if it's fake Klay?
Him, the one who got he got into Oracle.
Yeah, did he get kicked out of Oracle too at one point?
He's banned from Oracle.
Is he? Yeah, something like. I feel like I remember that story. Fake Klay. But didn't he trying to overdo his boundaries or something? I forget.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if you get in through that way or whatever, and I've had thoughts of this, especially during COVID when everybody had to wear masks and Austin Rivers was a Knick. I thought about literally just walking through and then being like, "Hey, Austin," and I'm like, "Hey guys," and just so I thought about it, and for me, getting banned from Madison Square Garden doesn't bother me because I don't like the Knicks. So, like, who cares or whatever? Like, it must suck for you if you're a Warriors fan. Like, I don't care if ban me from Madison Square Garden as long as it's not for concerts that I want to see. Like, if I want to go see Kendrick Lamar and I can't go because I did something stupid during COVID, I'll be pretty pissed. But I don't care about not going to a Knicks game. They're overpriced and they're never going to win anything, so I don't care.
And nobody likes James Dolan, so.
Oh yeah, well that's why I'll never give them any money.
This is what I love about our podcast listeners, Jason Aponte, is we've talked Meg Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Jamar Chase, and we got Jim Everett, no quarterback, no O-line, no D-line, no receivers.
No days off with the hate.
Niners. No day. We haven't even said a mention of the San Francisco 49ers. And Jim Everett is in mid-season form. I love it. I love our commenters so much. We've had some great comments already. If you're new here, I know this is a little sideways episode already on the Spirit Round Up podcast. But hey, it's the offseason. It's July. It is July. Andrew, not much football to talk about. This is what's going on.
Andrew, did you know that we're live with StreamYard and this is a StreamYard?
We gotta get some branding things fixed on this side.
And it's powered by StreamYard. Just in case you didn't know what we were using to stream on. This is what we're using to stream on, which is StreamYard. But we have the smartest fans. And Jim Everett says, nice Vince Carter jersey. Thank you for saying that. That literally makes me feel so good. Andrew Pasquini, before we started, said this is his dream jersey, and I didn't mean to do it to I didn't mean to do it to flex on him or anything like that. But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. That's the nicest thing that anybody said to me in the last week.
Beautiful. I like that. Compliments handed by Rams fans to Jason Aponte. We love it. Hey, Jason, it is July 9th, the NFL season. Daniel Garcia camp is a couple weeks away. I'm allegedly getting tickets to it, so I might be out there. So we'll see. But Jason, we're slowly but surely getting to the 2025 NFL season. And this is really what we wanted to talk about the past couple of weeks. As we said, some internet issues, so we haven't been able to talk about it. But Mike Klay of ESPN.com, he puts out these yearly projections for all 32 NFL teams. He puts them out actually in March of every year and then updates them throughout the offseason. So like a couple weeks ago, when we first were going to talk about this, the Steelers got an update because they traded for Jalen Ramsey, right? Player that Jason and I talked about for potentially the 49ers. So we're going to go through some of these projections, just kind of read and react, Jason. I'm thinking we start with the big picture, just the overall of what the 49ers are going to be according to Mike Clay's projection. Then we go position by position. But ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be the prettiest of projections because Mike Clay, not huge on the 49ers this season, to say the least. If we go through it, he has the Niners finishing, their projected wins is 8. So that means the average projection that he did, the Niners finish 8-9. And that's something that
with the worst strength of schedule. Or the easiest, with the easiest strength of
schedule. So he has the Niners with the easiest strength of schedule, 8-9 record. And 8-9, that might be a record that gets you to slide into the playoffs. But according to Mike Clay, the 8-9 record will find the 49ers in last place in the NFC West. These are based off of multiple simulations, so these are the average wins as opposed to like a straight number. The Rams average is 9.7 wins. The Cardinals average wins is 8.7, which I think might be the one I disagree with the most out of all of this, Jason, but we're here to talk about the Niners. The Seahawks are projected at 8.5 wins, and then the Niners are projected at 8.1. And as Jason said, maybe the biggest concern with that projection is the 49ers schedule is the easiest, according to Mike Clay and according to a lot of people. So, Jason, let's start there. Do you think the 49ers finished better or worse than 8-9 per Mike Clay's projection?
Better, but I do want to discuss something that I found doing some digging, doing some fake journalistic work about the 49ers schedule and why it may not be as easy as it appears to be. And there's again, analytics are analytics. Mm-hmm. Analytics index, fatigue index. Fatigue index is something that's new. And okay. Let me just tell you the methodology. It is combination of games played, rest days, travel fatigue, road weariness, circadian misalignment, meaning body clock change,
okay,
altitude changes, and overall wear and tear over a 17-game season. And this is good. I hope Jim Everett's here because we're going to talk about the Rams. So when you factor in all of those things, the San Francisco 49ers will travel the fifth most miles, the second most in the history of the NFL without an international game. Okay? We just want to say that. Opponents be damned. We're just talking that, right? And 3 short rest games, 3 games with 10 or more days of fatigue, playing nobody off of a bye. That's what we saw last season. Remember, the rest differential is +9 this year. It was -21 last year. +9, -21, it's better, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's better. But here's what's funny. The highest fatigue index in the NFL are both teams from LA. The Los Angeles Chargers are about to travel the most miles in NFL history. And right in front of them, because they're number 2, right in front of them, the Los Angeles Rams are number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just talking about things that maybe we haven't thought about, right? And we're just not putting into context, right? Because when we look through the schedule, right, and we do the win-loss thing, right, and we have a lot of fun with that, we don't factor in body clock, how long you've been rested, how long you've been, how the other team is a little bit more rested than you, all of those little things. You just look at the opponents, and that's why it's so funny to do win-losses. But they're definitely going to be better than 8 and 9. But there's far more pitfalls in this schedule than even I could have imagined. I almost freaked myself out. I think I just doom scrolled too much, and I found something that like I shouldn't have stumbled on, because I should have just come on here and been 20-0. Never a doubt.
Yeah.
But you ever wonder why the 49ers play down the competition sometimes, and you're like, they shouldn't be in the third or fourth quarter of a game, and they're like, damn, they're fighting for their lives in this game. Sometimes it's the wear and tear and all that stuff. And obviously, last year was all injuries, but if they don't have as many injuries, I think they'll be fine. But yeah, I just wanted to point all that out. They should absolutely go over 8 and 9. We've got them at like 13 and 4. I think that's where I've got them at. 12 and 5 is the floor, I think.
Yeah, and there's some games here that I disagree with, because he goes based off of a win probability.
Cleveland's a loss.
And then the average score. He has the Niners beating Cleveland.
So then he's wrong. Wait a minute. So in late November,
I get what you're saying now.
Against a Jim Schwartz defense.
Yeah, cold weather.
What on earth are you talking about, Mike Clay? I think you do great work, but come on, you got to just, this one shouldn't even be like, my projections say. No, you got to just make a judgment call and say, Kyle Shanahan doesn't beat Jim Schwartz. It's probably going to be raining and snowing. It's a Cleveland game. They never beat the Browns unless it's in Santa Clara. Like, what on earth is he talking about?
But he does have the Niners a 30% chance to beat the Buccaneers on the road in Week 6, which I think that's
true.
I don't know. I think the Niners beat the Buccaneers. 33% chance to beat Houston at Week 8 on the road. He has them losing to the Giants Week 9 on the road. 47% chance.
Listen to me. Look at me, Kyle Shanahan. Look at me, Kyle Shanahan, and look at me, 49ers. I swear to God. I swear to fucking God. If you make my life miserable here, I'll never forgive you ever again. I let go the NFC Championship game with Kyle Williams. I let that go because even the Giants fans came to me and they were like, we had no business winning that game. But if you fucking lose to the New York Giants, if you lose to Russell Wilson and the New York Giants, look at me. I'll never fucking
story
forgive
if it's Jameis Winston and the New York Giants.
You'll love that. I won't love that. I'll never forgive you for that. Never. Because even the Giants fans were nice after Kyle Williams. They were like, hey, man, we're not even talking shit. They're like, we're not even talking shit. We had no business winning that game. And I was like, damn, I was like, I almost want you to talk shit because you deserve to. Like, what the hell? I would.
He also has a 42% chance to beat Indianapolis. And then another one I really disagree with, 43% chance for a home loss against the Bears in Week 17. So, like, just me there personally, I disagree with 5 games. So if that ends up being right, that's 13 wins for the 49ers, right? So there's some thrown in there. But on the same side of that, though, you have to understand why this is the projection, 8 wins. You and I are a little biased towards the Niners, but if you're an outsider like Mike Clay is with the ESPN, he's not covering the Niners every day. you see what they lost, and especially on the defensive side of the ball, the Niners really, their strategy is to replace the players they lost with rookies and hope those rookies come through. So like, I understand the 8 wins. I think they'll play better than that. But again, 49ers podcast, right? Jason Aponte. And that's kind of what I want to lead into, right? We're talking 8-9. Mike Klay has the 49ers projected to be the worst defense in the NFL this year. And that's something that,
come on,
I don't know if I see a path to it, right? Because of the rookies and how much pressure they're going to put. I mean, look at just the secondary alone, right? You have Deommodore Lenoir, who's going to play on the outside. There's still some questions on if he can play on the outside or how consistently he can play outside. And then you have second-year Renardo Green. After that, it's who's your third corner in a secondary that needs 3 corners. And then you have your safety group, and it's Malik Mustafa, and then who's next to him. So I can see it. I just have a hard time picturing, like, it's kind of like, how do I word this? You remember the Legion of Boom? You obviously remember the Legion of Boom.
Thanks.
Or like even the great Ravens defenses of the 2000s, right? They kind of had this 5-year period after those defenses got worse of like, oh, well, it's the Ravens uniform, so their defense is good, right? It's the Seahawks uniform, so their defense is good. That's kind of how I feel about the 2025 Niners. I have a hard time believing they're going to take a step down to the worst defense, like Mike Klay says, simply because I've watched this Niners defense, and I have gotten used to the Niners uniforms being good at defense. So it's not necessarily... I think there is going to be a step down to this defense this year. Yes. I don't think it's as drastic as them stepping down to the worst defense in the NFL as Mike Clay's projecting. But again, this is another thing of like, I'm angry. I don't agree with it, but you have to understand why ESPN is saying this Niners defense will take a step down when you look at everything they lost and how they replaced it.
Honestly, I want to say this. That is such a good thing, that's like good way to bring it around, because you just automatically assume the Baltimore Ravens defense is always good, even the years that they're shit. You just assume that, I think we have like preconceived notions, right? So like you said, the Seahawks, that's a good one. I think with the Chiefs, you just assume, hey, their offense is going to be amazing. It's been shit lately, right? Like that is kind of still on there to think of it. But I do want to say this. I disagree a little bit here with you.
Okay.
I absolutely think the 49ers defense improves. Why is that? It's not because I'm smart. It's because it can't get any worse, especially run defense. If the run defense even improves a tick, right? Like a tick. I'm not even saying like a massive jump, right? Yeah. Like it just improves a tick, then it's improved. But I do think that it's important that you brought up the secondary, because PFF put out their secondary rankings for the season. And funny enough, the 49ers are ranked, I believe, 23rd, and I think 24 is Tampa Bay. So funny enough that they're like kind of back to back. And it is true a little bit about, we're excited about the defensive line. Yeah, we're excited about Robert Saleh, but man, if Deommodore Lenoir or Renardo Green lose any games, oh my God, this shit is about to get left. You might feel good about Jacob Robinson. You might feel good about, maybe throwing Darrell Luter out there, but my God, I don't. And the only reason I don't is because I haven't seen it. You're just thinking about depth. I think the 49ers duo, if they play 17 games and they live in a perfect world, like the 49ers usually think, then we ain't got a trip.
Yeah.
But what about if one of them gets hurt, misses a game or two, and then you end up, that game that you miss is against the Tampa Bay Bucks, and they've got fucking Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Egbuka, and fucking Jalen McMillan. They're gonna throw that shit all over the yard on you, you know. Like, so it's just, again, the projections, I believe, are just going off of perfect world scenarios when the NFL is anything other than the perfect world. When injuries happen, then teams fall. When injuries happen, teams rise. Meaning, like, one team that was supposed to be great, and the team that I think that's going to take the biggest hit is Detroit, and not because of injuries. I just think that they're bound to like take a little bit of a step back. But I think all that stuff needs to be factored in, and I think when you're doing these projections, you're just doing it like every single player will be healthy every single game, not miss a game, and this is what we think. And if that's the case, then I even have a harder time justifying the 8-9 49ers. That makes less sense to me, because if we get 17 games of Christian McCaffrey, and he projected Brandon Ayuk for 9 or 7, if I'm not mistaken, 7.
9 games,
right?
9 games.
9 games. Okay. You get 17 of George Kittle, you get 17 of Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, 17 of Brock Purdy. How? Even if the defense does take a step back, the offense is still the offense. If you think Kyle Shanahan is who we think he is, and everybody believes he is as an offensive guy, how? The offense is going to do the heavy lifting. So, yeah.
Yeah, and we'll transition to the offense here. The defense, per Mike Clay's rankings, he ranks the units based off of 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. It's just a grade. The interior defensive line's a 2. So that's according to Mike Clay, that's going to be the worst unit on the 49ers defense. Edge and off-ball linebackers are 7, so above average there. Cornerback is a 4, and the safety is a 3. So really it's that interior and the cornerback and secondary. And again, in a perfect world, I feel really good about the cornerbacks, but if injuries happen, that's going to be a tough one to talk about because there's no depth here. And that's why Jason and I wanted a Jair Alexander, why we wanted a Jalen Ramsey, is just to shore up the secondary. On the offensive side of the ball, things will look a lot better. Jason Aponte, quarterback is a 7 out of 10, which is Brock Purdy. Running back 10 out of 10. So he's expecting a 100% healthy season for Christian McCaffrey.
From his mouth to God's ears.
Wide receivers a 4 out of 10, tight ends an 8 out of 10, and then offensive line is a 7 out of 10, so above average. And again, that goes against a lot of what 49ers Twitter says.
I was going to say,
again, average offensive line looks a lot different than bad offensive lines, and I think the Niners lean more towards average than bad. So, Jason, let's talk a little bit about the offense here. And I really, the big position on my mind, mainly because I wrote about it a little bit today, is the wide receiver position. And it's an interesting one because, Jason, we've done this podcast for 5 years, and for 5 years we've been able to say, yeah, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, right? Niners good at receiver. We're fine at wide receiver. You don't have the benefit of Brandon Ayuk this year because he's going to be out, at least 6 weeks? At least he's minimum. He's going to be on the pup list, right?
4 at least.
Yeah. So he's missing time. Deebo Samuel's in Washington. So now your top 3 receivers for at least half the season potentially are Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, Demarcus Robinson, Jacob Cowling, and Jordan Watkins. And I listen, I think I'm harder on Juwan Jennings than a lot of people. I'm not convinced he's going to be a wide receiver 1 type. It leaves a little bit to the imagination, Jason. But do you think this offense can function with the lack of receiver talent that they've had the past 5, 6, 7 years?
Yeah. You know how? It's a wild thought, right? And I want everybody to stay with me. Just stay with me real quick. Well, look, I have a lot of crazy ideas going on up here. Fucking throw the ball to George Kittle more than anybody. How about that? You know what? How about that? How about throw the ball to the guy who's your best pass catcher on the entire team? How about scheme up some more throws for Christian McCaffrey? Yes, they absolutely can. They absolutely can. But if your offense is funneling through Juwan Jennings, fundamentally, that is a misallocation of your resources. Your resources need to go to your best players. I have said this today, tomorrow, every day. Behind that, come on, man. If you have a problem with your receiver core, and we all expect Ricky Pearsall to take a jump, I would love for Jacob Cowling to take a jump. Throw the fucking ball to George Kittle over and over and over. What is so hard? What is so hard? I don't get this. I don't understand this part. A guy's really good. Not only really good, the best in the world. We'll just use him when we can. I love Kyle Shanahan. But when Kyle Shanahan gets to the podium and says, they were taking that away, we couldn't. Bullshit. Yeah. Manufacture the touches. You do it for everybody else. You did it for Deebo the last few years. Oh, my God. So this is how if your wide receiver core is not where you need it to be, your wide receiver core is not where you think it should be, throw the fucking ball to George Kittle. That's all I have to say, Andrew. That's it.
And I'm curious because, 3 months ago when free agency free agency started 4 months ago, Jason. When free agency started 4 months ago, we talked about Luke Farrell and losing Kyle Juszczyk, and now you have both Luke Farrell and Kyle Juszczyk. And so I'm curious with the lack of receiver, if Kittle becomes quasi receiver number one, not just as a tight end, but gets more out wide snaps, because I think that's something that I want to see a little more for George Kittle, because he can do it. Give him more space on the outside. Like, he's done it before. I mean, not to bring back bad memories, but remember the start of the 2020 season when they were running screen routes to him outside and he got hurt against Arizona on that high. Like, they've done it before. So why not try it this year? Especially when, yes, he did absolutely 1,108 touchdowns, right? And he could have been more.
He had 45 less targets than the guys who just look, efficiency and volume. My biggest issue, Andrew, and I want you to continue right after this because I love where you're going with this. You don't go down swinging with your best players.
Yeah.
I hate that shit. When I look up and I see George Kittle has 3 targets in a game that was close, and you just tell me I couldn't. How? I've watched across the NFL. I watch every single team because I'm a sicko. Trey McBride sees the ball every single time. Brock Bowers sees the ball every single. Travis Kelce has carried Patrick Mahomes for the last few years, and nobody wants to talk about that. Just throw him the ball. Just imagine getting the ball in the hands of your best players more than anybody else. Like, I think Kyle just overthinks it a little bit more. Okay.
Yeah, but like, again, there is no reason for Kittle not to get those targets this year, because I just think this is, if there's going to be a year where Kittle is used a little more creatively, this is going to be it, because for a long while he's going to be receiver number one on this team, because like I don't know. I'm so iffy on Jauan Jennings, man. And I know a lot of people like to talk about like, oh, the game against the Rams last year and all this, and like, yeah, that was a great game, but that was a week 3 game. After that, after his 175-yard game, 11 receptions against the Rams, he had 0 games with 100 or more receiving yards, 3 with 90 or more, and 4 with 80 or more. He had 3 touchdowns in that game. In the 11 games, or I guess he played 8. He missed a few games. In the 9 games after the injury, after the game against the Rams, he had 3 total touchdowns. So like, I see it. I see it in those big games when he has it. It just needs to be more consistent for me on Jauan Jennings. And I know a lot of people want to anoint him the number 1 receiver because of his big catches on 3rd down. And, oh, he can do it. But it to be a true, again, I use the term number 1 receiver kind of like baseball with aces, right?
Right.
Your favorite team, if the Giants have an ace in Logan Webb, right? That he is an ace. I'm trying to think of another team. The Seattle Mariners, Tyler Gilbert or whoever it may be now is your best pitcher. He's not an ace. Just because you're the best pitcher on your team is not automatically an ace. Just like your best receiver on your team is not your number 1 receiver. He might be your number 1 receiver, but Jauan Jennings is not a number 1 receiver type. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk is. With Brandon Ayuk out, you don't really have a true number one guy. Kittle is your closest player to that. And so I do like the idea of Jennings getting more targets because he has deserved it. But if you're going into a season with Jauan Jennings as your number 1 receiver, you got some issues at the wide receiver position. And I don't think that's a shot at him necessarily, because the 49ers have issues at the receiver position because their best receiver tore his MCL and ACL last season, and he might not be back until halfway through the season. So it's just this is the most tepid I've been about the 49ers wide receiver core in the history of this podcast. And I don't know necessarily what to do with it, because I could see, as much negative as I've said here, I could absolutely see a world where Jennings does take that next step and Ricky Pearsall takes a step. And we're just like, what were we even talking about wide receivers for? There is that potential. From what I saw last year, I think there needs to be more consistency from Jennings. If there isn't, George Kittle needs to be the clear cut number 1 receiver on the San Francisco 49ers.
Here's another crazy idea, Andrew Pasquini.
Yes.
George Kittle's really good, and teams go in defensively looking to slow him down.
Mm-hmm.
And George Kittle has catch after catch after catch after catch, and you're making in-game adjustments. and your in-game adjustments say, that's enough from 85.
Mm-hmm.
I've had enough. And Juwan Jennings makes his living being more efficient in big moments. It could possibly make him even better somehow. So here's the way we're going to frame this. More targets for George Kittle to open things up for Juwan Jennings, Ricky Pearsall, everyone else, and be more efficient because defenses are paying less attention. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. In certain games, when you have feel, you realize that George Kittle can't be stopped.
Yeah.
And I'm not going away from him. He can't be stopped. And there's nothing you can do. You're trying everything that you can. Okay, but I go to him a little bit and then you're starting to stop it. Okay. But now I got Juwan Jennings in the big slot. What I got Ricky Pearsall at X, got Jacob Cowing at Z, and Juwan Jennings is about to feast and get himself open on a clutch third down. This is what I'm talking. Like, the chess game is important. Volume always isn't king. But in this case, volume for George Kittle can raise Juwan Jennings' efficiency and be more consistent week to week. That's what I'm talking about. It's just a feel for what's going on. I see Juwan Jennings is cooking. Cool. Then the defense goes that way. Cool. Let's go back to George Kittle. Oh, wait, 85 is really good. Nope. We got to go back to 85. Now 15's open again. It's a give and take. And I think every week, everything should be fluid and change. But in the games in-game where Kittle is cooking and you have your 15 wide open by himself or with an advantageous matchup, he can be more efficient. This is why the projections are just, there's no feel for in-game stuff. Mm-hmm. But this is also me talking to Kyle Shanahan. So
yeah, no, Kyle Shanahan's listening. I like looking at these projections just because it's fun to kind of see what people think about our team, right? Because as I said, it's a little different how we see it versus how the national media sees it. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong. I know a lot of people get offended when the Niners are underrated, but that's just what reality is, right? Like if you're on the national scope and you see what this team lost, you absolutely right. But you mentioned the production for George Kittle.
I'm still here.
If Mike Clay is correct about what Christian McCaffrey is going to do per his projections, 258 attempts rushing, 1176 yards with 9 touchdowns, 617 receiving yards. If Christian McCaffrey comes back from his plethora of injuries in 2024,
love that word,
and gives the 49ers 1,800 total yards from scrimmage in a season and 12 touchdowns, I'm going to feel completely fine with the 49ers offense, because if Christian McCaffrey's doing that, I think you have to, because where we talked about the receiver projections and how, whatever it may be, if Christian McCaffrey gives you 1,800 scrimmage yards, the offense is working as it should. Yeah. And everything else is going to open up around it. And I think that's going to be the key to the 49ers offense, is how truly healthy. And I don't think that's necessarily a stick in my neck out there type of take, Jason, but Christian McCaffrey's performance in 2025 is going to tell you what the 49ers offense looks like.
Look, Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle are here to lift the wide receivers. When we talk about the wide receiver group, we talk about pass catchers. Pass catcher, right? Mm-hmm. The 49ers pass catchers group was ranked number 5 by PFF. Why is that? Is it because the wide receiver group is so good? No, because your pass catchers are George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey. Mm-hmm. And the stigma of check down wide receivers, check down throws from Brock Purdy is ridiculous, because they're not. They're designed routes to get Christian McCaffrey advantageous matchups, and he knows exactly where to go with the ball. Remember, check down is drop back, 1, 2, 3, don't got it, 4, go. Right here. Ball's right here. It's not drop back and you see Christian McCaffrey running a route on a linebacker and he eats him up and you know exactly where you need to go with the ball and you throw it on. That's not a check down. No. The check down thing is just from people that just don't understand how quarterback progressions go. Mm-hmm. But if you're going to lift this wide receiver group, you lift it with all the pass catchers, every single one. And includes Isaac Guerendo, mm-hmm. who is far and away the best one out of the backfield last season because Christian McCaffrey didn't play at all. Like he's the one who can catch the football the best. Converted wide receiver. So when you look at this group and you say, I'm not confident in this group, you need to be confident in a few things. Brock Purdy, Kyle Shanahan, and the pass catchers unit and the system to get them going. And if Christian McCaffrey is, I want to even be conservative, 70% of the guy that he was in 2023. That's an absolute win for this offense, particularly in the red zone. So when you look at the names, don't let the names throw you. It's the names in tandem with the other pass catchers and the play caller and the quarterback. That's why you shouldn't feel so like, oh, like, they're disrespecting. I don't think that it's really disrespect.
No.
I think it's more a fact of matter. And there's still the little question of which Brandon Ayuk are we going to get when he returns?
No.
Because if Brandon Ayuk's Superman, and I don't think he's going to miss 7 games or 8 games, if I'm not mistaken, right? Well, Klay has him with 9.
He's playing 9, so he's missing 8.
If he misses, I don't think he's going to miss 8 games, but if he comes back in 9 games, and I'll tell you this, the projection, if I'm not mistaken, Andrew, and you can fact check me, 5 targets a game?
Yeah, I did that breakdown. I didn't do the targets, but it would have been, let me see, I have the numbers over here. It would be in his 9 games, he had him average out to 3.1 catches per game and 48.3 yards per game, which would be a career low in both of those categories. So yes, 45 divided by 9 is indeed 5. So that would be 5 targets per game. And that's the one I maybe have the toughest time believing, because if he comes back and you think if he comes back, you're assuming he's 100% healthy, right? Like there is none of this, oh, well, he's 80%, right? If he comes back, he needs to be leading the team in targets. Like that's just what it is. And so maybe that's why I can see the 9 games being a thing, because they really ease him back. Maybe put him on the PUP list to start the season 6 games and then give him an extra few weeks before they activate him. Because don't they get I believe it's 6 weeks from the PUP, and then you have a month to activate them, or else you lose them for the. Oh, no, that's the
days.
IR.
You got 3 weeks.
Yeah, 21 days. Yeah,
21 days. You got the window.
So that's exactly what it would be then, right? It's the PUP list plus 3 weeks about. So
yeah,
I like to believe that if Brandon Ayuk comes back, he's coming back at full health, and he's 100%, not 100%, obviously not 100% healthy, but 100% ready to go. He needs to get way more than 5 targets per game.
Yeah, that would scare me more than anything. But the question is, and people are just automatically tossing it out the window. Remember, we have the range of outcomes. What if Brandon Ayuk is Superman and he just comes back and he's just like, yo, I'm nice again. Like, y'all forgot about me. Doesn't that just lift the offense? Yeah. I think when you figure what the recovery timeline and how he'll assimilate himself back to the offense, I think it's fair to throw caution, in there a little bit. And I think that's fine. But to automatically assume that he's going to be dog shit or the 49ers are not going to get him involved, I think that's also wrong. I'm not telling you to shoot for the stars and say that you automatically believe that Brandon Ayuk's going to get in here and he's just going to be that guy again.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be trash.
No, I don't think he's 5 targets per game.
5 targets would be egregious. Yeah. And I would have a really, really big problem with that, especially. And I don't want to keep doing this because I've talked about it, if I'm in a relationship and my ex moves on, I lead myself with grace. Thank you for everything. Enjoy the rest of your stuff. I've got things that are coming up nice. But the way that Kyle Shanahan manufactured all those touches for Deebo Samuel, found a way to get him the ball every single time. Now I get it. Brandon Ayuk's not going to line up in the backfield.
No.
But it would be egregious to only just get 5. Yeah. 5.
Mm-hmm. And especially with where this core is without him. It would have to take like Jawan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall being really, really good. And
there you go.
Like that's a possibility, right? I mean, but then again, the number Mike Clay suggests, Mike Clay has Jawan Jennings for 76 receptions, 1040 yards. Ricky Pearsall 67 receptions, 964. like those are fine numbers for both of those receivers, but none of those are wide receiver one numbers anymore. You know, like 1,000 yards receiving, like that's whatever now. Like that's it's a number we look at because it's a nice round 1,000, but with 17 games now, like I would say 1,200 is more the like, oh, I'm like, that's a popping number. So that's just me. So yeah, with the receiving core, but again, as I said, kind of back to McCaffrey. If you tell me week 17 or week 18, Jason, we're doing the last game of the season, the Seahawks, and we say, yeah, wow, Christian McCaffrey finished with 1,800 yards from scrimmage this year, I think we're talking about a playoff team. Like that's just plain and simple. Like I think it's a playoff team. And I don't think the defense is going to be the worst defense in the league, like Klay is projecting. But if McCaffrey gives you 1,800 yards and your defense is even slightly better than last year, like this is a playoff team. I don't know, Super Bowl team. I think this is really the first year of the podcast, Jason, where like Super Bowl team is going to be like kind of a taboo word, and we're going to keep it in our back pocket until like we're going to start 4-0 and we're going to be like, yo, Super Bowl back on the table. But right now it's kind of like, I feel kind of like kinky talking playoffs, but like
kinky is
that's what it is. Hey man, that's the word I'm using because I think a lot of there are a lot of people that are down on this team. You know, and I
the whole world
fair. Yeah, and I think it's fair. I absolutely think it's fair. But I know this offense, and if Christian McCaffrey is giving you 1,800 rushing yards, and then again, Brock Purdy, he hasn't projected for 4,600 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, which would be a spike in interceptions for him. I know he's been about there, but the 25 touchdowns with this receiving core would be real nice. Would be real nice for me, especially with the 4,600 passing yards, which I think would be near a franchise record, would it not? Did he pass 46 in 23?
Yeah, he already has it. I think he got it in 23. I will say this, and
this is not 42 in 23.
But this is not a betting podcast. A little bit of fun, little money to sprinkle on is that Brock Purdy is going to be the league leader in passing this year.
Okay.
Let's think about this logically. Last year, Juwan Jennings, and you alluded to this. Juwan Jennings is wide receiver 1. George Kittle has a massive year, but you don't have Brandon Ayuk. You don't have Christian McCaffrey. A lot of those yards come from there. Ricky Pearsall comes on at the end of the year. Brock didn't play his best in certain moments. I think we can all agree on that. I think I kind of like the idea of Brock leading the league in passing this year, just based on all the weapons being back and all that yak being back, because all the yards that he got last season, none of it was from yak. So that's a little sneaky bet, like for anybody, because excuse me, Lamar's going to be up there. Joe Burrow's going to be up there. Josh Allen's going to be up there for MVP. We're not talking that. By the way, Joe Burrow, I think he threw for 4,900 yards or something like that last year. So, we might.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through all the receivers right now to see if Mike Klay has anybody higher than 4,609. I have not seen anybody yet, so keep looking.
But there is a world where Brock could take a step forward. The offense could be more efficient because of how inefficient it was. Brock Purdy leading the league as the league's passer is a sneaky little bet. You want to sprinkle a little $10 on it, you might walk away with like $450. Like that's not a bad idea. Like so. Just saying.
The only quarterback, I am almost done here. The only quarterback that has more passing yards, according to Mike Klay of ESPN, in his projections would be Joe Burrow. He has Purdy at 4,609. He has Burrow at 4,640. So even too, like if you do take Jason Aponte's advice and take that bet, and it's Burrow and Purdy 1-2. That's a great cash out opportunity as well late in the season for a profit. But no gambling advice on this podcast. We're not getting paid to give that to you guys. So take it as you may. Until we get paid, then
cut the check.
But so
at least send me a bonus bet, DraftKings. I'm out here. I'm fighting for my life.
And I looked at it. Purdy does hold the franchise record for most passing yards, 4,280. So 4,609 would shatter that record. So just to give you an idea of what Mike Klay thinks of Purdy, despite the 49ers receivers, 4,609 would be a real nice total. I guess it kind of goes down in a way, Mike Clay's projections kind of align with what I'm thinking. I think the offense is going to carry this team, and that's what Mike Klay has. and the defense is going to be Mike Klay thinks they're going to be not good. I think they'll be fine. And if we get, I mean, combine me and Mike Clay's projections, if we get Mike Clay's projection for the offense and my projection for the defense, this is a playoff team. It's simple. Better than the Cardinals, probably better than the Seahawks. Probably, I'm not going to stick my neck out there and say they're better than the Rams because I'm not going to get burnt by that. I'm at a point with Stafford where I'm kind of at where I was with Brady, where it's like I'm waiting for him to fall off, and it hasn't happened. I know they lost Cooper Kupp, but like to replace him with Devontae
Adams,
yeah. the defense I know is a little, I love their front. It'd be tough for me to find a defensive front 7 or a defensive front 4 even that I like more than the Los Angeles Rams this year. And I'm a little biased because I got 2 Florida State Seminoles. But then they also added Puna Ford. Like there's little things they did. So I like the Rams, but don't tell anybody I said that because this is a Niners podcast.
So I want to ask you, our good buddies 49ers Hub on Twitter. Shout out to Evan and all the guys over there.
I saw they're back.
Yeah, they're back. And they posted something that said, if you could pick one player from an NFC West team to poach and put on the San Francisco 49ers, who would it be? And I want to start with the replies that I saw.
Yeah.
Puka Nacua, Buda Baker, Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford, Kyron Williams, Devontae Adams, I even saw. Marvin Harrison. The answer is Jared Verse.
Ooh.
That's the answer. The answer is the one player from the NFC West that I would automatically take off of their team, put on mine, and feel absolutely great and phenomenal and sleep in my warm, cozy bed every single night knowing that I made the right decision is Jared Verse from the Rams. Jared Verse. I don't see how there's any other answer. I mean, the young man is phenomenal. Here's another thing real quick, and I'm just trying to help you out because I know you're a Florida State guy, and I just want to, and also I love belaboring points. Like I think that's one of my flaws and one of my good things. Teron Armstead, who has been a phenomenal tackle in the history of the NFL. Shout out to him. What an incredible career. He said, I knew it was time to walk away from the game when I faced that young boy from the Rams. And they were like, and he was like, Jared Verse. Yep. He said, this is it. This is my time. I'm done. He goes, I couldn't wait to get out of that game. When Teron Armstead, who is a legit Hall of Famer, says that about somebody who is just starting out his career, yeah, Jared Verse is the answer over and over, in my opinion.
Man, that's a good one. I'm going to have a tough time topping that just because of the Florida State Seminole connection. I'm going to go Leonard Williams. Just interior defensive lineman, gets the 11 sacks last year, 11 and a half
Giants legend
years ago. I'll go Leonard Williams just because I think that's a little bit to me. And this is tomato really, but the fit wise, I think the Niners need more of an interior rusher than an edge rusher at this point. So, but I do like the Jared Verse pick, but I'll go a little outside the box. I'll go Leonard Williams.
That was sneaky.
Just because the Niners need that. And he is really, I mean, we wanted him once the Giants made him available a couple years ago, right? Like, so if we could take an NFC West guy and like Jared Verse is off the table, I don't want to go the boring, like, Puka Nacua answer. I'll go Leonard Williams.
I'm shocked that you didn't go Sam Darnold over Brock Purdy. Hi-oh! Had to throw it in there because someone else threw it in there as a joke or whatever. But no, I do like that idea because I do think that when it comes to edge, and the 49ers right now are rebuilding the edge, and we're talking about Bosa and Michael and obviously Huff, and you think Yetur Gross-Matos could. It is a little naked, inside, right? What is it? It's pause. It's Collins, who hasn't signed.
Yep.
CJ West, Kevin Givens, Evan Anderson. Yeah, Yetur Gross-Matos could jump in there. Yeah. Oh, Sammy O. Yeah, that's not. You know what, Andrew? we've been doing this podcast since 2020. You still find new ways to surprise me every time, and that's what makes it so good.
I'm gonna go respond to that tweet now. I'm gonna go find it and put Leonard Williams, even though I'm
Do
like, this is
Quote
my brand.
it.
Is I'm 3 days too
Quote
late
tweet it.
to
Quote tweet it.
Where
Hey,
is
look.
this? Where is this? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. It's not jealousy, it's respect. Yeah, I got it.
While Andrew's doing all that, 55 minutes in, if you guys are here, appreciate you guys. I know it's been a while since we streamed on the channel. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for when we go live. Andrew Pasquini and I will be back soon. 22nd is when camp opens. It's gonna be hard for me to make it to Santa Clara unless everybody just starts bombarding my Venmo with with nice donations as well too. I'll leave it to Andrew, I'll leave it to Brad, I'll leave it to the guys that I trust that'll be there. I'm sure Steph will be out there as well too, but I'm not gonna lie, the FOMO is gonna be really real.
Yeah,
not being out there. Like, I know a Yard House hates to see us coming, but if we're not gonna be able to if we're not gonna be able to go to Yard House in Cali, man, I'm gonna be sad, man. I'm gonna be really sad. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward. I don't know exactly what the plan is. One of Jamie's family members messaged me. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to camp. You want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'll do that. That sounds good to me." And so we'll see what comes of that. So hopefully I'll be out there, and I want to see some people out there. I think that'd be fun. But Jason, we're at about an hour, man. We killed this podcast. We're going back
to NFL gossip, or are we just
wait a minute.
Wait a minute. No, wait a minute.
Oh, we got one more thing. Jason remembered something.
It's not football.
It's not football?
No, you sent me a text message that I glossed over, but I really want to dig into because I'm so excited. He's literally my favorite. And apparently, Andrew Pasquini. And I hope my guy Axel's in here. And if not, and you're watching this, I know you will.
I think I know.
My guy Andrew Pasquini has dug into Kaytranada's entire discography. And this is it. Look, guys, if you're done with the 49ers talk and you want to move on, I completely understand. But I need to hear this because it's very important, near and dear to my heart, because he's my favorite. And Andrew Pasquini has just learned about him now. I need to hear this. For me.
Here, let me do this since the outro is not working and I can't get it to work. We're entering Sprint Right Option After Dark territory here. Thank you for
hell yeah. Let me get another drink then. Yeah, let's do it.
We'll do that a little bit. And then since the outro is not working, Jason Aponte as always.
Let's go Niners, bro.
Let's go Niners. Okay, we're working. We're working on it. For those of you who are new, if we want to touch on Niner stuff, we'll touch on Niner stuff. But
if you have questions, send them. Just send it. If
you got Niner questions, send them. We'll answer them. We're just going to talk anything.
I need to hear this though.
So I'm about to give Kaytranada maybe my highest regard for music.
So can we just go through real quick, because for anybody that's the uninitiated, Andrew asked me for hip hop music recommendations because before
I already have my next assignment too. So
before I was able to make anything of this with the 49ers, I had a hip hop podcast, and hip hop's my love. It's always been. Right. So he's asked me, and I've given him A$AP Rocky's first album and Travis Scott's second album and what else? Little Brother.
You giving me a few.
I'm not eclectic when it comes as much as I'd like to be to my music taste, but I'm eclectic in hip hop, if that makes sense. I can love Young Thug and Future just as much as I love Dave East and anybody else that's like making like boom bap music. But this time I decided to give him my favorite, and this isn't necessarily hip hop. It's EDM. It's a little bit of hip hop. It's a little bit of soul. It's all that stuff. But Andrew, the floor is yours now. And I'm
so I think the best album to me was 99%. I think that's his first one, I believe, Jason. I'm a little biased to Kaytranada as well because I do like Amine. But there's so many good songs, and like I think with 99% too, I like older Anderson .Paak a little bit, and you got that nice older Anderson .Paak. But I think I got to give Kaytranada the highest like honor I can give a musician here.
What's that?
Listening to him was the closest I felt to listening to somebody or listening to Gorillaz. he gives me that. It's like a hip hop Gorillaz almost. And it's in the same vein where he's with Gorillaz, Damon Albarn is making the beats, and Damon Albarn includes himself in a lot of songs, but a lot of his work is the features, right? Like Snoop Dogg's in there a lot.
Right.
A lot of the old stuff has MF Doom, it has De La Soul, it has what's the other one? I'm drawing some blanks, but Kaytranada very much gives me Gorillaz vibes and something that I want to get out in front of. I want to throw a take out there as a Gorillaz fan, Jason. Damon Albarn once said that the beautiful thing about a cartoon band is even when he decides to stop music, Gorillaz can still exist.
Yep.
I think Kaytranada would be a goddamn great replacement to Damon Albarn in Gorillaz when we cross that road. But they're just,
that's a great take.
It's just so good. It's very. I like my music to be vibey. I'm a big vibes guy. I don't know.
Vibes
if you knew
is
that,
all
Jason,
that matters.
about me. I'm a big vibes guy, and Kaytranada. There's just so many. I mean, 10% with Kaliuchis there. I always want to call her Dua Lipa because I think about Dua Lipa too.
Because you think about Dua Lipa a lot. Hey, listen,
I think about Dua Lipa a lot.
Cheers, buddy. Cheers, buddy.
Well,
no, you know what? I don't think about her anymore. She's engaged now. That's it.
Yeah. Respectfully, she's engaged. We don't think about her. Definitely.
No. Listen, that is just like whatever. Like once you look. If I follow you and you get into a relationship or whatever, I'm unfollowing you. Like that's it. Like you're just out of here. Like I'm not thinking about you anymore.
Damn. But yeah, no, I love Kaytranada. As I said, I listened to all 4 albums in one day. So I got a lot. Kaytramina is very, very good. As I said, I really liked Amine. Like I listened. What was his first album? Man, drawing up like Yellow. Is that what it's called? Is it literally just called Yellow? His first album, Amine's
I think
first
so.
album?
I'm not as familiar with him.
Oh, I love Amine. I could listen to a good Amine. But yeah, Kaytranada was probably my favorite recommendation of Jason Aponte's thus far.
Andrew Pasquini, you don't understand how much that makes me happy. Little backstory about Kaytranada. He doesn't tour in America ever. And all of a sudden in 2020, he decides to tour here. And I buy tickets. You know what happens? COVID.
Mm-hmm.
COVID takes it away. He literally didn't come back until last summer when I got a chance to see him at the Forest Hill Stadiums in Queens, where they it's like right across the street from like where they do the US Open. And it's the best concert I've ever been to in my entire life. The beautiful thing about music is this. Music for you and music for me, and we can hear the same song and feel 2 different things completely. Yep. What some people would play at their funeral is something that I would never consider.
Mm-hmm.
But his music, especially, oh my fucking God, Andrew, Witchy with Childish Gambino.
Yep.
That song makes me miss somebody that I've never met. Or it makes me be upset with a woman that I've never met that has such a grasp on me that it's voodoo.
Yeah. It's
witchcraft. That's what
Dare I say witchy.
About. It's witchy, right? It's voodoo. You know, it's certain songs and things that and again, the soul samples and the other things and the person that he is, and I think the personality and everything as well too. Kaytranada is my favorite. He's my favorite, dude. He's really my favorite, man. Kendrick Lamar is my favorite rapper, right? And during the time that he was here at MetLife, SZA brought Kaytranada out to do the Be Your Girl remix and everything.
Okay.
Regardless of what that is, they went to this really intimate, small place where he does a DJ set and she's there. And that's really the essence of why Kaytranada is the man, is because those boiler room DJ sets, all of those little things are why I am so drawn to him, over and over. And I think his music just again, what you said about vibes, that's exactly how I go off of music.
Oh yeah, I think that's the way to go off of music.
Of course, right? If we're in a spot, Andrew, let's just say it's me, you, and there's women in the area. We've got to look respectfully. I understand. Respectfully.
I giggled. That's my fault.
No, respectfully. If we're in a spot, it's you and me, and we're picking music, and there's women in the area. We have to pick music that is good for everybody, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nothing worse than passing someone the aux when there's women around and playing 90s hip hop.
Yep.
And unless you know your audience, and that's what they're into. But I just feel like his music is so versatile that you can do whatever it is that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why he's like my favorite. And anytime that he does a DJ set, anytime that he's around, I'm drawn to it or whatever. Like I've never really considered myself like an EDM house fan, anything like that. But he made me feel like that.
Yeah.
And he's opened a door for me to like a bunch of people. So I'm so happy that you really enjoy him.
Oh, I loved him, and I mean, like even the song with Pink Panthers. I've gotten into Pink Panthers a lot lately.
That's a song. That's one of the best songs on Timeless.
Yeah, it's a very good. But no, you mentioned Kaytranada going out to your area. He was literally at Capitol Mall, like 5 blocks away from my apartment
when it was 3,000 degrees.
When it was literally 102-degree day.
I would have went.
And he was still out there, and so it's like shout out that Sacramento is not an easy place to perform, and he was outside 102 degrees.
Andrew,
mm-hmm.
A VIP section in which you go because my homeboy, shout out to Robin. I hope he's watching. Yo, that's my dog or whatever. I hope he's watching. He's from Sacramento as well too. He had VIP tickets that he was selling for that during that 100. It was like 101, and even at night it was like 92. Mm-hmm. Like, no, Sacramento gets hot.
Mm-hmm.
It was like $42 to sit in the VIP section, be closer, have an open bar. I'd pay 3 times that for that experience. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, I couldn't believe that. Like literally, he hit me up and he was like, bro, because I don't know if you saw, Andrew, I went to a wedding.
Yes.
I was a groomsman.
He looked mighty fine, by the way.
Oh, you
look great.
You flatter me. Whew. But that wedding, I was in charge of the Kaytranada set list, right? The groom, shout out to my homeboy Dro, man. I love you so much, and I love shout out to Nicole, man. I love you guys so much. I was in charge of picking, and I picked, and we all were like, and he hit me up, and he was like, bro, I saw you vibing. He was, I didn't know that you were like that with Kaytranada. I was like, what you mean? I was like, my whole like music identity is based on that. Like, and he's just like, damn, I didn't know you had moves to dance like that or whatever. Like, I was like, listen, man, I've been practicing in the crib by myself for a long time. But that just goes to show you like how close Kaytranada is to me.
Yeah.
And how much I care about that.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed listening to it. I firmly consider myself a Kaytranada fan at this point. Looking forward to the next project, whenever that may be. Yeah, man, as I said, like the highest, it gave me gorilla vibes, and that's huge for me because you know me with gorillas.
No, of course, 99 is your favorite.
I think 99.9. I mean, unless we're counting Kaytramine, Kaytramine would be my favorite, but do you count Kids See Ghosts as like Kanye, or you know what I mean? Like,
also look, Kaytranada has an album with IDK from Washington DC that is incredible.
Okay.
So he has collab albums. Let's just keep it 99, Bubba, Timeless.
I'd probably go in that order. 99, Bubba, Timeless.
The Timeless one.
But they're all good though. Like, that's the thing.
No, they're all great.
They're all great, but I feel like here. Let me see if I can give you some statistics here, Jason.
Go for it.
When I listen to albums, I like.
But I want to say this before we get into this. I want to say this before we get into this. I completely agree with you. But I would change one thing. Timeless ahead of Bubba. But the songs that I like on Bubba And oh God, this is gonna make any 49er fans. There's 20 people still in here, and they're obviously just either watching us ramble. Bubba reminds me of the 2019 San Francisco 49ers season, because I was in Miami. I was in Miami partying, and that's all they kept playing over and over was K-Tronada. And it reminds me of that moment when we knew we lost. When we knew we lost, and I literally just I literally just walked away, and I couldn't believe that happened, because it was just oh, it's done, and we're but that's what that album reminds me of.
So I got 9 songs liked on 99.9, and I got 8 on Bubba and Timeless. So okay. I got them pretty equal. I'll go Timeless over Bubba just for the Pink Pantheress and the Childish Gambino features.
But that Witchy song is the best song in K-Tronada's entire. Yes. But I want to know the 9 songs that you liked from 99, because God damn it, Light Spots is fucking Under the Weather. Oh my God, that album is just it's you know what I think is sometimes the issue with artists too, since we're just talking music.
Yeah.
Your first album is your most free.
Yes.
For almost any artist.
Yep.
For almost any artist. Nas makes Illmatic, Jay-Z makes Reasonable Doubt, Dr. Dre makes The Chronic. This is your most free. You do whatever it is that you feel, because you know what? You're not worried about what works for other people, because you're all the way in your artistic bag, and your whole life is culminated in that first album, because you've been dying to get here, and here's what you got. So I want to know. I just want to know. I just wanted to say that.
I got track Uno.
So
Got it good.
So good.
I got Together. I got One Too Many. Glowed Up featuring Anderson .Paak.
Who's the feature on One Too Many?
Fonte. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Fonte from? What group is he in?
I don't know anything from
Little Brother.
All right, boom. I just learned something from Little Brother. So look at that connection. Look at how it connects to each other, Jason and Fonte. Breakdance lesson number 1.
So shit.
You're the One featuring Sid.
So shit. I love Sid. What group is she in?
I don't know.
The internet, and that's your next assignment.
I don't know. Okay.
The internet, and that's the internet, and that's your next assignment. Because
my next assignment is Tribe.
Oh, Tribe, but yeah, that's right. I want you to watch Beach Farm and be like, all right, I'm sorry.
And then I got Bullets, which is featuring Little Dragon, which is which is interesting because
go for it.
This one,
I love this.
My favorite album of all time has a feature with Little Dragons as well. So I was excited for that one. So
I love that.
There you go.
See, there you go. We're pulling it all back together. So all right, Tribe is your next assignment, but
yes, the internet. I'll make sure to write that down.
Who's the one we just said?
The internet.
The internet's your next assignment. Oh my fucking God, Andrew. I think you're gonna absolutely Steve Lacy, Sid, and the band. The internet is incredible.
Steve Lacy sounds familiar.
They
broke up, right? That was a big deal.
They didn't break up. They're back making music again.
But they broke up in the past, right? I feel like I remember that was a big night on Twitter.
No, they just stopped making music. They're in the studio again. Sid did her own thing. She's amazing. The internet's amazing. Yeah.
Sorry, Rich Madrid sent a text to the group chat.
I don't want to.
I giggled at it, so I apologize. But yeah, no, K-Tronada, great recommendation. I'm happy I listened to all 4 of those albums, and I'm excited for more. I'm gonna give if the internet's like K-Tronada, we'll be in for a good time. We'll be in it for.
I'm so happy because, we're in a group chat that is outside of everything. There are a few people in that group chat that really, really, really have a high opinion of K-Tronada. And you know what? I'm gonna start doing now that I found that you're an enthusiast.
Yes.
I'm gonna send you the remixes and all the little Lucy's all the things that you should be listening to as well too with K-Tronada. But there's a lot of people that you know what? Once this is done, I'm gonna go right into that group chat and be like, welcome Pasquini Andrew into the I don't know, it's not Illuminati, but it's like, you're initiated now.
The
like
Catronati, you know.
I love it.
Off the rip there, Jason Aponte.
Uh-oh.
Like that.
I love it.
Another music thing, and I don't know if I should be admitting this on the Niners podcast, but
here we go.
I just bought tickets to a K-pop concert, so that's pretty cool. Vibe music, yeah.
Can I admit something in front of you and in front of everybody?
Yes.
There's an Anderson .Paak song with a K-pop artist.
Yep.
That I literally, I literally cannot stop listening to, and I have to stop myself. I have to stop myself from listening to it. Hold on, because it's on my playlist. I literally was on a long road trip. It's with G-Dragon.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know what song you're talking about. Because I did. So my girl Jamie's been very into a group called ATEEZ. Which I don't know if you know them, but it's I've heard a lot of their music, but I've kind of branched off into my own. But if you want one, Strategy by Twice featuring Megan Thee Stallion, that's a good one. Megan. So
is that this one?
It might be. Yeah, I think so. It might be. Yeah. No, that's that. No, that's Megan Thee Stallion's own song.
Oh,
I'm talking to Kate, but yeah, that's her own song. No. So here's my thing with Megan Thee Stallion and K-pop. Just to bring it back to Megan Thee Stallion, Jason Ponte, because I always want to bring it back to Megan Thee Stallion.
Well, it's like Curb Your Enthusiasm. You start the joke early on, you bring it all the way back.
Bring it all the way back. Yeah. So Koreans aren't very cool with like sexuality in their music and dancing.
Really?
So anytime Megan Thee Stallion does a performance in Korea, like with BTS or Twice, she does not do the thing. And it is the funniest thing watching Megan Thee Stallion try to dance without twerking. But it's so like, they're so like anti her stuff that in the song with Twice, you know how when Meg Thee Stallion comes up, it's real hot girl shit. She legitimately says real hot girl shit because she can't say shit. So you get like a nerfed Megan Thee Stallion. It's really funny, but that's a good song. It's a good song. I just wanted to really bring it back to Megan Thee Stallion, Jason.
No, yeah, you can't cap our queen. Can't cap our queen.
Can I
cap our? Yeah, come on. Look, man. Either you're with it or you're not. You can't cap our queen. Like, are you kidding me, man, bro?
Yeah, no, it's pretty funny watching. I'll send you some videos of Meg Thee Stallion in Korea, and it's really funny to watch her dance. But yeah, there's other real. I mean, I've been into the group I'm going to see is Cat's Eye. It's the new hot one, Jason.
Okay.
In case you're wondering, my K-pop.
So you're putting me on.
I'm putting you on a little bit to. Oh, if you want, Jason, because I know you have Averly. Netflix released a movie called K-pop Demon Hunters, which is a kids movie. But I thought it was a good introduction to K-pop, and it's got some banger songs in it as well. So K-pop, Jason Aponte.
I would definitely try. Avery's gonna tell me no Netflix, and she's gonna tell me to turn that off. But I have to try. Because I'm lucky enough that I've gotten her into watching SpongeBob, which, by the way, man, for you youngsters,
I think I know where this is going.
For you youngsters, that is such a fucking good show. Like there are very little bad episodes of it. I have no problem. Dude,
grew up on it.
Dude. Opposite Day, Frankendoodle, Chum Bucket, and dude, I'm 40, but my God, man, am I a child? And SpongeBob is still good. And for anybody that grew up on that shit, you're lucky, man. You're blessed. Because I wore a Ren and Stimpy shirt the other day or whatever, walking around, and then I went back and I watched. That shit is garbage, and it's crazy.
Did you just go garbage?
Garbage.
What was that?
It's full New York. Garbage.
I don't get New York, Jason, upon that too often. I heard a little bit there.
Garbage. But yeah, SpongeBob is hilarious, man. Like you're watching Opposite Day, and he goes, Patrick, have you heard of Opposite Day? He goes, yeah. He goes, oh, you haven't? He was like, no. He goes, what is it? And I'm sitting here just laughing. Like it's it's just a better show. It just really
have you seen the hash slinging slasher episode?
No.
Okay, you need to watch the hash slinging slasher episode.
Now we're getting a recommendation from me.
It's a dude, dog. I got SpongeBob references for days.
Go for it.
No, it's one of their spooky episodes. But there was a part that ruined me as a child because I'd learned something in the last 6 months, Jason. There's a scene where, like, they do the scary movie, like the lights are flickering and they go, who was flickering the lights? And they look over and they go, Nosferatu. And it was Nosferatu flickering the lights. And for my whole life, Jason, I thought Nosferatu was like a slapstick comedy vampire movie. I was shocked to find out that it was a dead serious vampire movie. My one acknowledgement to Nosferatu in my life was SpongeBob. I was shocked to find out it was as dark and spooky as it was.
Andrew Pasquini, are you talking about the 1924 Nosferatu? Or are you talking
they
about
used the 1924 Nosferatu?
No, I know. No,
came out in
like
2000.
I thought you just watched that.
No, I watched I kind of started the new one. It's
kind of started. Listen,
man, I'm not good.
Don't get me in my bag. Don't get me in my bag.
Oh, I heard you're a cinephile now, my guy.
That's what the streets are saying. Listen, man.
That's what the streets are saying. The worst things that the streets can be saying about Jason Aponte.
No, that's not the worst thing at all. Like, honestly,
not too bad, my guy.
No. Listen, if the streets start saying that, like, Jason Aponte knows cinema, that shit is like, I'll take that all day.
The brand is strong.
The brand is real strong. Oh my God, Andrew Pasquini, Nosferatu, the Robert Eggers
I need to watch
version.
it all.
Oh my God, that is one of the best movies. Forget horror movies. That's one of the best movies I've ever seen in the last like 5-10 years. Easy,
dude. Spooky movies are back with Nosferatu.
Horror movies are carrying cinema. Sinners. Nosferatu, Hereditary.
There's another one last year.
Hold on. Late Night with the Devil.
Weapons. I'm excited.
Weapons hasn't dropped yet, but I'm locked in. I'm locked in.
So intrigued.
I just watched Companion last night.
Okay.
And that is it. I don't even want to tell you. I just wanted people to watch Heretic. What is it? Midsummer. Like, dude, right now.
I still need to watch Terrifier.
No, you don't. What? Look. And this is quick because we got to get out of here, man. I know you're vibing. We're having a good time. And shout out to the 15 people that are still in here chilling with us. I don't know why you are, because me and him are just talking. I made the mistake one night to just. I was on Peacock and I'm like, yo, I paid for all these streaming services. Let me see. Terrifier was up there. And I was just like, let me see what the talk is about. But I popped the shit on at like 2:25 a.m.
So
it's not that the movie is scary. It's not that the movie is scary. I have just seen one of the most egregious gore, like it was just gore for no reason. And I just was like, I had already been like 45 minutes in, and it was like maybe like 20 minutes left, and I was just like, no. Unless you like absolute like torture porn, gore, like Terrifier. Late Night. You know what's a movie that I would implore anybody to watch that is looking for something that will really disturb you and rock you to your core, and is a horror film? It's called Speak No Evil. It's called Speak No Evil. But it's not the one with James McAvoy. It's not the remake. I want you to watch the Dutch one from 2 years ago, because foreign films tend to lean into the horror. American films always need a happy ending. There's no fucking happy ending at the end of Speak No Evil. And you will literally sit there looking at the screen with the credits rolling oh my God. No, but that's what'll stay with me.
We talking movies, Jason?
Go.
I watched for the first time on Friday, 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. I watched Parasite for the first time.
Holy shit, that is one of the best. That's one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life, because no one saw what was going on really at the end of that shit.
Well, so my thing is it's very slow. The first 45 minutes,
Yep.
it's setting everything
the
up.
last 40 minutes is insane.
I'll admit it. Like it's a little tough because you got to read the translation. It's getting tough on the eyes. And then at about the 50-minute mark, that shit starts, and the movie does not stop until it is over.
I like this.
It is.
I like
Oh
this.
my god, Parasite is a
Insane.
phenomenal movie.
For anybody that's asking, that's the number 5 movie in history.
Yeah.
Rated on IMDb.
Crazy.
Incredible movie. If you're looking for new recommendations, if you have, now it's called HBO Max, Andrew.
Yeah, it's back to Max, right?
Yeah, it's back to HBO Max. Companions on there. Heretic is on there with Hugh Grant. And the girl who's in Companion was in Heretic. If we're talking movies, I can do recommendations all day.
Yeah.
I'm still a lover of cinema. I still believe in cinema, and that's why Sinners is so important, because you have to support original ideas if you're going to complain about reboots and remakes and Marvel movies and all that stuff. These are original ideas, and you have to support those things. You can't complain about them not taking chances and them going back to fucking Top Gun Maverick, which was a really good movie, by the way. Or Jurassic. We've got another Jurassic Park movie, and
hey,
why?
Wait a second, Jonathan Bailey though. Jonathan Bailey, talk to me.
No, listen.
I'm big Jonathan Bailey.
Shout out to Scarlett Johansson, the highest grossing actor/actress in the history of cinema. No one's made more money from their movies than Scarlett Johansson. That's a big thing.
You mentioned Sinners. Do you know where Ryan Coogler went to school?
Sacramento State.
Sacramento State. Maybe the coolest thing about me is I went to the same college. I have a degree from the same college as Ryan Coogler. He actually played football out here. There's photos of Ryan Coogler playing football.
Ryan Coogler's most important movie is the movie that people forget about the most.
Is it? I know.
Fruitvale Station.
Yep, that's what it is. It's the Oakland one.
with Michael B. Jordan. That is his most important movie. And you know why he did that? Because he's from the town and he's from there. That is his most important movie. That's his most important movie. Black Panther 2, Sinners, even the Ironheart series, which I enjoyed. Kiss my ass, haters. I enjoyed. I don't want to hear that about whatever's going on with Iron Man. That's what's in the comics. Deal with it. Cope, cry. Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler is a legend, man, and we need to support more of those ideas and
original ideas.
You cannot complain about it being, remakes and reboots and all that stuff and comic book movies when an original idea is out there and you don't go see it. I really just have a hard time with that.
I'll give you a show recommendation too, and then we can get out of here, Jason, because we're at about an hour and a half, twice as long as we normally go. It's on Netflix. It's called Sirens. It's a limited series show. It's 5 episodes. It's got the girl who played. You watched House of the Dragon, right?
Not all of it.
It's got the girl who played the younger Rhaenyra Targaryen. It's got her Millie Alcock, I believe her name is. It's got Kevin Bacon. It's got Dennis from Always Sunny. It's got a really good cast, but the story is the best part about Dennis from Always Sunny in it is he pretty much plays Dennis if Dennis had a shit ton of money. So that's great to me.
You watched all of Always Sunny, right?
I am caught up on Always Sunny, yes.
So, all right. I just did a rewatch, and
it's real good, isn't it?
Well, I have Dennis System number 1.
Yep.
Because I think that's I don't know. Well, all right. The reason that it hits for me is because of the person I used to be.
Yeah.
And I feel like I understand where he was going. That's elaborate. That's elaborate. like to do all that and slash a woman's tires and like harass her on the phone. Like that's elaborate. I would never do that. But I do get but the funniest thing that I've ever seen in that show is that scene where he does the imitation of CCH Pounder when
in the cruise ship, right?
Dude.
It's such a good impression.
But you know what? I realized, you know what they did in that writing room? They said, I can literally do this amazing impression of CCH Pounder, who is so random. By the way, if you haven't watched The Shield, you should. And she's the original Amanda Waller in the in the DC universe. But he literally said, I can do this voice. We have to make a joke and everything around this.
And it works really well.
I think the best part of it is Charlie Day and Mac fucking wow. Like that's like, because it was so, look, there's a reel out there of, if you want to look it up.
They switch it, right?
Yeah, you can't even tell who's who. If you never saw, you never even
tell the difference. The one scene that always gets me to laugh on Always Sunny, and I can't repeat it on YouTube.com.
Yep.
But it's from Heroes or Hero or Hate Crime. And it's what it's what Frank yells when the piano's about to fall on Mac. And it's just like, well, it worked. Everybody knew who to look at. Like that scene, that is my favorite episode of Always Sunny. I can watch that episode on loop. That episode is so good. Oh my god. Hero or Hate Crime. The bike in Hero or Hate Crime. Oh my god.
Yeah. Whew. Or if you just want to laugh, just look up Danny DeVito pronouncing whore on
Danny DeVito was such a good addition to that show.
I don't even understand. Like you know what's crazy is sometimes, Andrew, I get into like these modes where I watch things and I enjoy them so much, and I'm just like, I wonder what the pitch was. How did you walk into a room and you throw the pitch out there and you said this is what it's going to be, and you said, and people walked in there and said, oh my god, that's it. Like I and you know what, I would turn down so many things because I'm just like, that would never work.
Yeah. I just like the thing with Danny DeVito too. Like he had so many like iconic, the Penguin, the mom or the dad in Matilda. I know he has a twin movie with like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but Twins, like he's Frank now. He's Frank. Yeah. That's who he is now. And like oh my god, the next season being Frank on The Golden Bachelor is going to be so good.
Them being in Abbott. And it's 2 episodes. Episodes.
I'm so excited for the Abbott characters to be on Always Sunny instead of the Always Sunny characters on Abbott. I'm really looking forward to that episode.
Dennis, your mother is a dirty, dirty whore. and before I met my whore wife, I was a boxer. Like.
I love I might have to rewatch Always Sunny now.
Always Sunny is always a good watch. Always in the background. I'm so glad there's 19 people still sitting here watching us just talk about like nothing. Oh my god, I love it so much. If you like this video, please
haven't even started on Rafael Devers, Jason. Like what we haven't even talked about him yet.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Is the thing of him standing up Will Clark real?
I don't care. It probably is, but like he's been hurt. He's been hurt since Boston. They also like the thing with Will Clark though
wasn't hurt when he was kicking the Yankees' dick in. I don't want to hear that.
He's been hurt all year. He's been dealing with a groin issue all year. No, dude, it was also against the Red Sox, and he didn't want to take first base lessons in front of the Red Sox after that. That was such a weird thing to me because it felt like Boston media got so much angrier about it than Giants. Like Giants fans are just like, okay. And Boston feels very angry about it. But I love having Rafael Devers. I know he hasn't hit the best with them yet, Jason, but his swing is real nice, and I'm really excited to have him on the Giant. He's a player I'd rather have on the Giants than not.
Nobody's more excited than he's a Giant than me.
Yeah. He had a home run against the Yankees, and then he left. He was gone.
Yeah, and we got swept. I want to root for Rafael Devers.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing, right? So Boston players that I don't like, right? Duran, Papelbon. By the way, Jonathan Papelbon still follows me on Twitter, and I'm not following you back, buddy, because I really dislike you. Like I dislike you.
Yeah.
But I don't dislike Manny, Poppy, Pedroia.
I dislike Poppy.
Why?
Because
he's
any Hall of Famer that took steroids that isn't Barry Bonds. I don't
know. Listen.
Hey, don't hate the player, hate the game.
No. You're gonna tell me anymore. The reason that David Ortiz is in the Hall of Fame is because he was a nice guy.
Yep, man, but had nothing to do with
Barry Bonds is not in it.
It's almost like the Bonds thing has nothing to do with steroids.
And also, by the way, Alex Rodriguez is never going to get in. He's better than Albert Pujols, and I don't give a fuck who disagrees with me. Because when I pull up the numbers, you're going to see some really nasty things that you really didn't like about any of that.
Also, isn't it alleged that Pujols isn't exactly the cleanest?
Pujols broke his arm and came back 7 days later. Yeah, that's just steroids.
This is really interesting. Not just the podcast talking here.
No, we're good. But when it comes to Red Sox, I don't dislike Devers. I want to root for him, but he just kicks the fucking Yankees' ass every time, and that was annoying. And I'm just like, what I see when a player disrespects my team, and let's bring it back to football. When you continue to disrespect my team, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford. You're doing this shit to me, and now this shit feels personal. Because what did I do to you? I didn't do anything to any of you. And I don't want to hear that, oh, I'm trying to do my best. No. This shit's personal. This shit is personal. Now you have a problem with me, I got a problem with you. And when I see you, it's on site and you're going to be like, oh, No. The issue is, why did you do this to me? What did I do to you? And that's kind of where I was with a lot of these guys. But Rafael Devers, I want to root for him. And I want to root for him even more now that he's with you guys.
I was thinking about it, though, because me and my friend last night, I don't know why we were talking about the arson judge situation. I don't know how it came up. I hated it. I hated talking about it. But I was saying, like, specific, like, I hate that we play the Yankees every year now because we're going to get a yearly reminder about the arson judge situation. But I just thought, like, Rafael Devers now on our side, we have something to fight. We get Devers to beat the Yankees once every year. There he is. There's the guy. Pretty good baseball. Is he still? What's his average at now? Is he still hitting like 360?
His average has plummeted to 360. I want to say something.
Oh, he's only at 360. Oh no.
I want to say something, and I don't want this to come off as Yankee bias.
360, 467 on base, 738. Oh Jesus, he would have been such a good Giant.
Listen to me. There was a point where the distance, and because Cal Raleigh's having it, and he has the best nickname in baseball, by the way.
Oh, the best nickname in sports.
Easily, no questions asked. Let's do analytics, right?
I'd rather have a guy on my team named Big Dumper than not.
Right.
Analytics.
Weighted runs created plus, right? That's what WRC is. Okay.
Yes.
There was a point in the season where the distance between Aaron Judge in WRC plus and Cal Raleigh was the exact same amount of distance from Cal Raleigh and Anthony Volpe.
I got to ask you about that. What happened with Volpe doming Judge? What happened there? Volpe threw a ball and it hit Judge in the head. Like, how does that even happen?
Unalive him.
How does that happen?
Look.
Volpe seems to be trying to, like, get Yankee fans to hate him. It's almost impressive.
Look. It's over. The experiment's over.
Yeah.
It's done. It's a nice story. He took a picture with Derek Jeter. That's fucking cute.
Hey, Filipino Italian, big in this household.
Dude, it's over. It's over. I was looking at his numbers, and we're at the halfway point of the season, right?
Yes.
I have literally no idea how Anthony Volpe has 47 RBIs going into the All-Star break. Like none. And let's just extrapolate that. 85, 90 RBIs? How? When? I've been watching. When? When the fuck did you knock these runs in? When? And you give up. Look. We don't want to talk about baseball, but I would just ask you to be a middle of the pack shortstop. And Brett Boone. Aaron Boone keeps saying he's elite. When?
I've seen so much Anthony Volpe content from Yankees fans that I thought I was getting like NBA Central when I read the headline of Anthony Volpe tosses ball in the infield that hits Aaron Judge in the head. I thought that was a joke for like 10 minutes. Because like it was just like, oh, there's no way Anthony Volpe messed up that.
That should have been the last straw.
That should have been the last straw.
Well,
man. But they finally gave up on DJ LeMahieu today, though.
That's fine. 1 year too late. I'll tell you this. You know what's even funnier about the Volpe lore? His father in Citi Field is yelling at Yankees and Mets fans who are shitting on him and saying, "That's my fucking son." Great, that's your son. He sucks. I would shut the fuck up. I know you want to deliver. I know you want to be in front of your son. If there was context, that I would defend my son. But if my son was trash, I'm gonna let people get this shit off, and I'm gonna talk to him in behind. Like
we gotta build a Mount Rushmore of Jason Aponte enemies, and it's just Anthony Volpe, Jake Moody, and that's like the two so far.
Oh man, I don't know, man.
You can't even hate on Wisnowski.
I don't know who I hate more. I really don't know who I dislike more at this point. I really don't know.
To me, it would almost have to be Volpe because, and I know Moody's missed a lot of big kicks and all that. They
at least brought somebody else in.
The thing with baseball though is like when the player's bad, you get them every night of your life. Right? Like during baseball, you watch Volpe at least with football. You get a week off with Moody. But baseball, you got to watch Volpe every day.
He plays every single game. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But at least the 49ers were like, yo, Moody, we're tired of your shit. Here's this kicker. Fix it, or we're going to replace you. But the Yankees and Aaron Boone, they're just like, you know, what is it? It's right in front of us. And that's the best part about the Yankees is that it's right in front of us and we can fix. Bro, I've been hearing that shit for fucking 8 years with Aaron Boone. Like, and the worst thing that could have ever happened with Boone was them making that World Series.
Yeah.
The worst thing, man. We were on the verge of moving on from him. I don't know who the answer is, but they definitely need a new coach, man. Like, it's done, man. It's not. But you know who doesn't need a new head coach? The San Francisco 49ers, because I'm going down with the ship with Kyle Shanahan. If you get rid of Kyle Shanahan, I'm not on the same boat like with Aaron Boone. That's not the same thing at all. No.
Jason, we've had fun today. We've had a great time today. We opened with Meg the Stallion and we closed with Meg the Stallion somehow. But we're gonna get out of here. I got some college football 26 to play. I finished an article.
I saw that. I opened up my PlayStation app yesterday, or I opened up my PlayStation because The Last of Us 2, which is a game that everybody hates, I particularly enjoyed. They gave us a new option to play the game in chronological order.
Okay.
Meaning no flashbacks. But they also, when you go to start it, it says, please play the regular game first. Like, don't do this way because there's pacing and things are off and you're not going to. But I open it up and it says, Andrew Pasquini has a trophy from college football 26. And I was like, damn, my guy's getting to it. And I was like, he's getting at it.
I got my online franchise already ready to go. Pick South Carolina so I could play with Lenore Sellers. So that's exciting. This is Jason, just a heads up. I'm the type of guy where like a lot of my draft takes for the next 4 months is going to be based on that? Of how I play with them.
I love it.
That's why I was such a big Elick Aomanor guy for most of the year. I love playing with him in college football. Yeah.
Titans legend.
But I promise, guys, I actually have real opinions on real football players, not just video.
Titans legend.
Titans legend. Is he on the Titans? Is that where he went? Aomanor?
Yeah.
Dude, the draft feels so foreign to me, dude. He is a Titan. Huh? The draft feels so long ago, Jason. So long ago. But it wasn't.
Might as well have been 2 years ago.
They
added, so they have Calvin Ridley. They added him.
Cam Ward.
Well, Cam Ward. I'm just talking about.
Oh, they added Tyler Lockett too.
Yes, that's who I was thinking of. The virgin from 30. He was 30 years old, and like, did you see that one graphic? It just said virgin.
I did not. I didn't know. This is.
Oh my god! All right. This is what
breaking news to me.
Hold on. I feel bad because I'm not mad at his lifestyle choices at all. Like, I think that's messed up to like yell at him or whatever. But I'm gonna send it to you right now, Andrew. So you can post it just so you can see how mean people are and how they signify that. Go ahead. I just sent it to you.
Really quick too, since we're talking Titans receivers, I was talking to some friends about the Texans yesterday for some reason. How the hell did the Texans?
Higgins?
How did they get both of them?
Yep.
I didn't even realize it during the draft. We
listen to me.
One of those two on this podcast.
Listen to me.
And the Texans got both of them.
This isn't fantasy football talk. Nico Collins, Christian Kirk, Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, and Tank is not going to play the entire season. My God, man, they like literally went in and they were loaded. You know, I mean, whatever. They traded, Jeremy Tunsil, but like I just sent you I just want you to put the graphic on the screen because I just want to imply how rude it is. It's so rude. And I think that is like rude. Like why would you post it like this?
This is how we'll close.
I hope you stuck around for an hour 46 just so you can see this.
just for this. Yeah, here it is. Hang on. I'm pulling it. That's a good graphic. He's not even a Seahawk anymore. And he's getting roasted on this podcast. That's an all-time.
I'm not roasting. I'm not roasting him. It's just, why did you put it like that, man? He has lifestyle choices. Let him do his thing. Why would you put virgin in big bold letters like that on the thing? It's like usually that says released, cut, traded. Like, why would you put that? Like, you're just so rude when it comes to that.
That's good. I didn't say that. I'm happy you sent that. Get my face on it with Virgin on it.
You know what? What I'm gonna do is anytime there's some weird person on Twitter who's talking crazy to me, and because I have a few of them that it's just like literally you live in my mentions to just bring up one thing and talk about everything or whatever. Like, I'm gonna take their profile picture and just put it on top of there or whatever and send it. But Virgin's not a bad thing.
Nothing wrong with being nothing wrong with
that.
Nothing.
That's why that's how Tyler Lockett got to the NFL, by being focused, staying away from women, and making sure that he was focused on his one job. Like, that's not a bad story.
It's especially not a bad story considering we got a graphic with his face on it that just says virgin. Jason, that's enough.
Virgin and big
we got there. We got there. Now we're 47. Hey, to the 18 of you still with us, we appreciate each and every one of you. We haven't done an After Dark in a while. This is the prime time.
That was fun.
July. There's not a ton
this is my
of
favorite one
to talk about. But Jason, as always,
let's go Niners, and thank you guys for sticking around. I appreciate you, man.
Done.